Hi, I'm Tanya, and I'm so happy you're here with me because I think it's time to go find the kayak somewhere deep inside the barn. Spring is springing, so do you have a kayak? Do you want a new kayak? Do you like to kayak? Do you want to see my kayak? I've had this thing for 10 years. Let me tell you all about it right after I get it out. That'll be fun. In the dark and dingy barn. While I go see if any spiders have moved in over winter, let me introduce you to my Perception Swifty Sport 9.5 that I bought at Dick's Sporting Goods about 10 years ago for roughly $200. This model has now been replaced with a newer version called the Swifty Deluxe. It's actually a little bit cheaper, and we'll talk about it again in a few minutes. But I love my little Swifty Sport just as much as I did on day one, and let me show you why I like it so much. It's built really well and it's sturdy from the exterior material all the way to the adjustable, padded, and pretty comfy seat, down to the leg padding, which is tacked on really, really well. And it's hard material, but it protects your legs if you're on the river for sure, giving you good stability. And down to the cargo rigging. I do wish that it had a cargo hold, but you know what? The awesome thing about it is that the doggie loves to kayak, and this little fella is just a perfect size to fit onto a towel under the cargo rigging and get clipped in there. It's perfect. What more do you need? So let's get this girl cleaned up for a close-up. Now that she's all clean, let's have a closer look. So these handles, super sturdy. I don't think they could come loose if I tried. Cargo netting's pretty decent too. Could be a little tighter, but not too bad. But look how well this is made. They're riveted in well. And then the footholes, same thing. I don't use them often, honestly, because I'm usually on the lake, but I've had no problems with them. The seat is comfortable, super adjustable. It's not even bent over time. Quite nice, and my favorite part is the storage in the back. Again, it doesn't have a cargo hold, however, the new replacement model, the Deluxe, does have it. Whoop whoop. I just take a dry bag. It's fine. Don't capsize. You'll be alright. A little view of my paddle. We'll talk about that in just a second. Other than that, another sturdy handle, a little drain that comes in pretty handy, and that is about that. There is my Swifty 9.5. I highly recommend it. Let's talk about hauling this thing. To get loaded up onto my roof rack, I'm getting the loading straps ready here. These are usually about $30 to $40 for two, and they're specifically meant to tie smaller loads such as kayaks onto roof racks. Super easy to use. They don't tangle easy. The material is sturdy. This rubber thingy covers up the ratchet part strap thingies. And that way it doesn't scratch your car or kayak. Very, very user-friendly. I'm a fan because I need that. Definitely a fan of user-friendly. So when I drive on the highway a lot, sometimes I may or may not attach this extra quick draw ratchet rope to keep the front end of the kayak down, but most of the time it's just an extra safety precaution. So there you go. Let's get her loaded up. Dun dun dun. I'm excited. Let's go. Paddle length is determined by your height and the width of the kayak. Mine is supposed to be 230 centimeters, and my original paddle was, but it went down the river, and then I replaced it with one that is obviously way too short. Sometimes adulting is hard, but this paddle works fine, except for occasionally I bang the side of the kayak with it. I'll replace it as soon as I have another $100. I hope this helped you out. Now we're loading the kayak. It's about 40 pounds. Sometimes that gives me trouble. Usually it's just fine. But I forgot the pool noodles. Pool noodles. I love the pool noodles. Don't forget the pool noodles. They're excellent for padding between the roof racking and the kayak to avoid extra scratching. But put them on first. Don't do it this way. This way is a pain in the patootie. I said patootie. Thank you for watching. Let's move on. It is finally time to start tying the kayak to the roof rack. It usually takes me a minute to figure it out the first time every single year. You know, some things you learn faster than others. But in all reality, it's not that complicated. Just make sure that the straps are attached to the kayak and the roof rack, and then make sure that you tie any loose ends because they're going to keep flapping onto your car and make lots of noise while you drive. I personally like clove hitches. Nice and easy. Ta-da! Let's go. It's time to go. Doggie is ready. I'm ready. I got the keys. Let's make sure the kayak stays on before we go on to our real trip. Well, the test drive went really great, so we are here. Hi. Have a look at this beautiful spot at the New England Outdoor Center with Mount Katahdin way back there in the rainy clouds. This is an awesome lake. I will show you in just a little while. We are going to go put this kayak in the water. This is my favorite kind of spot to kayak, which is why the Perception Swifty works great. It's a recreational kayak, which means it's perfect for lake and flat water paddling, as well as some river fun. It has the best of both worlds, so it's easy to paddle and maneuver. It stays pretty straight and it's fairly stable. It is, however, a little long for real river rapids. Either that or I just admitted I have terrible river kayaking skills at this point in my life. But changing the topic, right there on that dock, right there is where I'm about to get married. Woo woo! And then right after, I will see you alls to put the kayak into the water. And here we are. Hello. It's definitely easier to unload than load, as long as you didn't go crazy with the knots. Again, that's why I like the clove hitches. They're easy. Speaking of easy, look at my automatic unloader. Whoop whoop. It's a keeper. I like it. Very cool. One very last thing before we get going, I wanted to show you my paddle again. I really do like this paddle. It's pretty. It's easily adjustable. It provides a comfortable grip. And it has good purchase in the water. It's just too short. Have a look. It's too short. But it's all right. It's no matter at all because we are going to go and enjoy some watery peace. Won't you come with me in my Swifty with the little doggie? All right, let's go. Oh, it's so good to be afloat. And see, the kayak responds easily and it's stable enough for the doggie's little sea legs. But while we get moving, let's briefly talk about other gear such as the paddle leash. I don't have one. It gets in my way. On the river, I definitely would. On the lake here, this paddle floats. It's completely fine. But speaking of leashes, this majestic sea animal sometimes forgets where he's at and he falls in, but he's always leashed in with a harness and he swims straight for me to pick him up. Easy peasy. A life vest is also a good option. Doggy safety is important. Oh, and speaking of majestic sea animals, there's another one. Also think about dunks into the cooler water on hot days and be sure to bring drinking water for you and the little fella. After our little chat about doggy safety, let's enjoy the doggy butt cam and have a conversation about people safety. Other important safety gear to consider should include a helmet, especially if you go on rivers, and above all, a life jacket. Many places actually require one, so it is nice to have your own. Sun protection usually looks like hats and long sleeves for me and a parasol for the doggy. But whatever works for you, always have plenty of water and consider the weather. Other than that, bring a partner, have more fun, or at least let someone know where you go. Speaking of going, it's time to get going. I hope you enjoyed the info and paddle as much as we did. Thank you so much for joining me. comment below if you have any questions, or tell me, did you buy a kayak? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Tell me. I hope to hang out again soon, and I wish you health and happiness. Tschüss, tschüss.